In less than a minute, we'll find out if the Reserve Bank will move to cut interest rates or leave them on hold for the 7th time in a row.
Forget relying on the RBA and forget these so-called free top hotspots that every property guru hypes about. The real question is, what's your actual end goal with property? If you're just throwing darts, hoping to hit financial freedom, you're making it harder than it really needs to be. Today, I'll share the real estate strategy that propelled me from zero to my first million in net worth. By the end of this video, you'll see how the BRR method can fast track your journey to financial independence. Most people who jump into property do so without a clear roadmap. Maybe they buy because a friend said so, or a flashy headline caught their eye. But that's exactly how you get stuck. Remember, property is one of the biggest financial moves you ever make in your life. Going in without a proven system is basically gambling. My way of avoiding this pitfall is pretty straightforward. I aim to acquire between 5 to 10 properties, generating anywhere from 150 grand to 280 grand in annual rental income, enough to replace a typical salary and let me live on my own terms. What's more important is doing it in a 5 to 10 year window instead of waiting 30 years. This is where my strategy comes in. It helps pinpoint those explosive growth phases that can give you a rapid boost in equity and cash flow. But before we get into the specifics, let's look at the two biggest issues property investors usually face. The first is borrowing capacity. Around 93% of investors never own more than 3 or 4 properties because the lenders eventually shut them out. The second is picking the wrong property. One bad purchase can stall your entire journey for years if the value never rises, leaving you with no equity to buy another one. To solve these issues, I first use something called trust lending. By buying properties under a company or trust, especially when they're positively or neutrally geared, many lenders will treat the debt differently. This keeps your borrowing capacity free so you can keep scaling even when most people hit the ceiling. Make sure you check out this video here where I explain trust lending in detail. The next thing is timing the market. Contrary to what you might have heard, you can actually spot when the suburb is about to surge. Real estate cycles go through boom and bust, but most big gains happen in a short burst. Take Menai in Sydney. From 2008 to 2018, it climbed around 70%, but the growth spike happened in just a couple years between 2014 and 16, where the prices tripled annually. Another example is Armadale in WA, which stayed flat for most of its cycle, but then skyrocketed in a smaller window. If you know how to read the patterns, you won't have to wait years for massive growth. Once you identified the right suburbs, now we bring in the BRR strategy. Buy, refinance, and repeat. Here's how it works. Buy in the suburb at the start of its growth cycle, ideally under trust structure to protect your personal borrowing capacity. Hold while the value rises and the rents climb, shifting from a negative to neutral to positive geared faster. Refinance after the surge to pull out your equity without selling the property. Repeat by using that equity to buy your next property in another growth area. Follow this loop to reach 5, 8, or even 10 properties in just a few years. We can see how quickly this can happen, especially during COVID when property prices jumped in many areas and rents soared with them. Personally, I bought in Armadale in 2022 for around $350 with a $350 rent. The market took off and the property shot up to $650 while the rents jumped to $600 a week. This helped me move from negative to positive gearing very quickly. Even better, I refinanced that equity to purchase another property at $550,000 with a $500 week rent, which also rose to $650,000 with a now $600 a week rent, all without draining my personal savings. That's the BRR in action. Every time a property value spikes, you tap the equity to fund the next deal. This method outperforms the traditional buy and hold strategy where you wait decades for small appreciation. Ultimately, the BRR strategy accelerates both your equity growth and cash flow, allowing you to aim for 5 to 10 properties that can bring in $280,000 a year. It's also the key to surpassing the typical limit of 3 to 4 properties that most property investors face. If you're interested in how I spot suburbs on the verge of a boom, stay tuned for my next video, pinpointing the next suburbs on the rise. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave any questions in the comments below. If you like some tailored advice, please book a call in the link below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.